Hi, I'm Carl Azus, and welcome to CNN Student News. What is left of a sort of ceasefire in Syria is in danger of falling apart completely. The cessation of hostilities is an international agreement. It was implemented in late February. It initially reduced some, but not all, of the violence in the country. But 5 years into Syria's civil war, fighting rages on. And international health officials say the Syrian city of Aleppo is on the brink of a humanitarian disaster. Rights groups say 50 people were killed on Wednesday when a reported airstrike hit a pediatric hospital in Aleppo. One of the people killed was among the last few pediatricians in Aleppo. The United States indicated the blame rests with the Syrian government. Syria says its planes did not carry out the assault. Russia says its jets didn't launch the strike, and the U.S. says its forces weren't in the area. As we return from the weekend, tensions are high once again on the Korean Peninsula. I'm Carl Azus, and that's what's first up this Monday, April 25th. North Korea fired a ballistic missile from a submarine on Saturday. It's the latest in a series of missile and nuclear tests that the secretive communist nation has conducted this year. Ballistic missiles fly in an arc toward their targets. U.S. officials say this one appears to have flown into the sea. But firing a missile from a submarine is significant because other countries can't see exactly where the launch points are. South Korea called the launch a threat. U.S. officials say it broke international law. France called for more global penalties on North Korea. So why is it pushing forward with its military programs?
North Korea is claiming an eye-opening success with its ballistic missile launch from a submarine this weekend. Photos published on state-run media show the launch with Kim Jong-un. They say it was ordered and guided by the leader and has significantly bolstered the Navy's capabilities. Now, experts around the world will be poring over these photos to see what kind of information they can glean from them. Photos published last year by the North showing this type of launch were widely assumed to have been doctored. South Korea's foreign ministry has condemned the launch, saying that they had warned if the North continued with these so-called provocations, they would go back to the United Nations Security Council and push for even stronger sanctions. The US has also condemned the launch, one official, though, saying it was provocative but did not cause a threat to the US. However, one other US official did say, quote, "It shows North Korea's sub-launch capability has gone from a joke to something very serious."
The 5 presidential candidates, they are competing in 5 northeastern states.
We expect Donald Trump to win all 5. The question is, how big are those victories?
CNN projects Donald Trump will win the Pennsylvania Republican presidential primary. Donald Trump is the winner in Maryland. Another win for Donald Trump in Connecticut. All 5 contests, Donald Trump wins.
At some point, if you're going to beat Donald Trump, you have to beat him on the battlefield. This is the battlefield state by state, and that, frankly, is a romp.
They got destroyed. Donald Trump, all 5 states called relatively early in the night.
CNN projects Hillary Clinton is the winner in Maryland. In Delaware, CNN has projected Hillary Clinton is the winner. Hillary Clinton is the winner in the Pennsylvania Democratic presidential primary.
What a great night. I want to thank the 42nd President of the United States, my husband.
CNN projects Bernie Sanders is the winner of the Rhode Island Democratic presidential primary.
You know, the best way to beat the system is have evenings like this, where you get record-setting votes, where you get record-setting delegates.
Big nights, very big nights for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's it in a nutshell. Another big night for the U.S. presidential frontrunners. Our latest estimates for the delegates they've earned. For Democrats, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton now has 1,666 pledged delegates and 502 superdelegates. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has 1,359 pledged delegates and 42 superdelegates. A Democrat needs 2,383 total to clinch the party nomination. For Republicans, businessman Donald Trump now has 991 pledged delegates. Texas Senator Ted Cruz has 567 pledged delegates and 1 unpledged delegate. Ohio Governor John Kasich has 154 pledged delegates. A Republican needs 1,237 delegates to clinch the party nomination. Also, Senator Cruz announced yesterday that if he wins the Republican nomination, he'd choose former business executive and former presidential candidate Carly Fiorina as his vice presidential running mate. Fiorina suspended her campaign on February 10th and endorsed Cruz a month later. It's unusually early for a candidate to announce a running mate. That traditionally happens at the party's nominating conventions over the summer. Around the world without a drop of gasoline. That's the goal of the experimental plane Solar Impulse 2. It runs on solar power. It landed in California on Saturday night after taking off from Hawaii on Thursday. Though it's got the wingspan of a 747, it only weighs as much as an SUV, but it also travels at about the same speed as a car, which is why it took so long to make California from Oahu. The project, whose cost is estimated at more than $100 million, has had its setbacks. It took off last spring and was supposed to have circumnavigated the globe by last summer, but a damaging storm, battery problems, and the need for near-perfect flying conditions have repeatedly delayed the journey. Engineers are happy to have the project back up and running.